Very important thing. By setting, I also mean genre. Some of you might be already going, that's not how it goes! Shut up. Suffice it to say, we'll go into setting and genre next. But for now, I do hope you do take this with somewhat a grain of salt. That for the most part, when it comes to building your world, this right here is the start of it. You can give it as stupid of a name as you want, or as badass of a name as you want, but do consider the world itself. What kind of a world is it? Where is it set in a solar system? Look at what Anne McCaffrey has done with like fucking multiple moons and an asteroid that drops the thread that the dragons have to burn out and shit. I mean, that was very integral to her work, to the Dragon Riders of Pern. And there, not to mention she's had other series where there's been work like that. There's works out there where the world is as much of a character as any of the main cast. And it's all incredibly important. And if, as long as we're doing this right now, jotting it down right now and going from there, one never knows. You can, I mean, look at what happened in the Xanth series where Demon Xanth suddenly became a thing, and Demon Earth and all the other ones. You know, suddenly the Game of the Planets became a thing, and it literally became a fucking character. Just saying. Hell, I think he later on in the series it even became it actually gained an avatar of some sort, or some kind of physical host. I don't know. It's fucking Piers Anthony. The man rocks. Go read you some. I'm just saying. And some people, that's young adult. What are you doing? You're just hating on young adult. No, or teenagers. No. He himself has stated that it is an adult-oriented series. I mean, there was sex and there's plenty of violence throughout the entire thing. So it's just also a beloved, very high fantasy series, in my opinion, with some good punniness and even some urban fantasy elements in it as well. Especially when they start 20 years, is it like still a 25 years? Is it still a spoiler? I mean, yeah, well, consider Heaven Sent, I think it was. They had to find literally the something keys, and it ended up being the fucking islands in Florida, the Florida Keys. So yeah, with each one being a different pun. It was great. It was great stuff. So, suffice it to say, consider your world. Consider the landmass itself and the locations where each little continent is. Do you have a Pangea, or do you just one solid landmass? I actually have a couple of things like that. I just haven't done anything with it yet, but I will eventually. So, I mean, do you have a Pangea? Do you have is it a world where there's nothing but islands, you know? In my own series, Killer 13, it is a desert wasteland world. And very much so, the sky, the sun, the moon, the very air itself, the sands definitely, are kind of their own characters in the series. This right off the bat is something for you to consider. What is your world? What is its name? What are the locations looking like to you? Do you want volcanoes? Do you want something like, oh, I don't know, there's that one video game, not Dragon Quest, shit. Dragon Force, not the band, the fucking game. And in that one is actually how I did my Dangerous Mismanagement series as well, where you had exceedingly noteworthy characteristics to each country, and they were all kind of fitting in together. Like you had the icy, snowy wastes and mountains of the north, you had the plains, you had a desert zone, you know, things of this nature. If I may suggest, and I will, I want you to consider perhaps video games in general. Consider, if you will, Sonic the Hedgehog. There is an entire subsection of fandom that are currently going, no, down, bad. Suffice it to say, each zone was noteworthy in that it was somewhat unique to the others. When I say Sonic, I mean 1 through 3, not the rest of that shit. Although there is Sonic Adventures, but let's not go into that. Area had its own noteworthy differences in temperature and climate, you know what I mean? And how it was presented. And you should do the same thing here, especially when you start getting into building cities, countries, kingdoms, and states, all depending on setting and genre, which is coming up next. So, that was World Building 101, the Shotgun of Destiny. Yeah, it was the Shotgun of Destiny. I had to double check that shit. Click, click, boosh. For the most part, you'll find that world building can actually be a very simple exercise, but it is one that you kind of gotta come at it from a certain angle. At least with my style and my processes, this is what I do when I create anything. When I did the Generalist, it was based off of Neo Tokyo Unit 13, a game I had done with a bunch of friends using Dungeons & Dragons Besom, any kind of splat book you can find, Pathfinder, whatever. Although I don't think we had access to Pathfinder at the time, but certainly enough we had splat books ahoy. Splat books aplenty. A whole barrel of splat books, you know what I mean? It was good shit. And for the most part, you know, this is something you should consider for yourself. You know, consider your sources, consider your influences, and above all, consider what do you want to do? What kind of world do you want to build? A volcano wasteland? That's cool. Well, that's going to affect what kind of characters you have. I mean, you're not going to have characters in a volcano world where everyone needs magic in order to live and survive, and actually, that's a pretty good idea. You could probably run with that. You could probably run with that. Have that, my friend. Suffice it to say, that was Worldbuilding 101, Shotgun of Destiny. This is Haymakers and Hellhounds. This is Season 0. I am Thomas Dewar, author of the things. Damn straight.
My burning rage knows no race. My twisted wrath knows no creed. The bottom line, oh my darling, gonna have to fill your need. Oh well, your baser beliefs mean nothing ultimately.